reppin' God, I get my bread still. I say that you a woman, you a man still. I woke up to the truth, I took a red pill. Devil tried to move me, but I stand still. Climbing to the top, it's like an anthill. Left it say they hate me, but I am real. I flip it, I spin it, I get it. Y'all just hate to admit it. Flow so cold and I'm gifted. Hate the truth, get convicted. Bible truth was predicted. It's all true, no gimmicks. But I'ma speak the truth every time you come to the song. Listen to these lyrics. Mask off, take that mask off. You obey the government cause your ass off. Mask off, take this mask off. I don't got corona, I just got a bad cough. Woke up to the truth, I took a red pill. Broke it from the lies that had my head filled. Even reppin' God, I get my bread still. Say that you a woman, you a man still. Woke up to the truth, I took a red pill. Devil tried to move me, but I stand still. Climbing to the top, it's like an anthill. Left it say they hit me, but I am real.
Alright, yo, so we got a lot to jump into. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So as you guys may know, Elon Musk is trending on Twitter and all over the place, really, because he just bought Twitter. Now, there are varying different degrees to how much he actually paid for ownership of Twitter, but I would say it's anywhere between $40 billion to $60 billion, right? So, there are kind of split views on this. There are people that support it. There are people that don't support it. And there are people that are on the fence that have a lot of questions about what this is going to lead up to. Obviously, I don't support it. Now, the reason why people do support Elon Musk buying Twitter is mostly people that say that they support free speech, right? They believe you should be allowed to say whatever you want. Then there are people who feel like free speech is dangerous because people could say whatever they want and it could be misconstrued. You know, kind of like the whole liberal agenda of some people shouldn't be allowed to have free speech because of misinformation. And then you have the people that are just like, well, it sounds good, but I don't know if I really trust Elon Musk. And what is this really about? Well, in this video, I'm going to expose to you the truth about Elon Musk and what this is really leading to. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know I don't like him. I don't trust him. He is part of this. But a lot of people don't see that. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, if you're one of those people, by the time this video is over, your mind will be changed and you should not be supporting this guy. So we're going to start out with what he said about free speech. And he also tells you what comes along with what he's doing with Twitter. Let's see what he says. So here on his Twitter it says, free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated, said Mr. Musk. I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans. Authenticating all humans. We're going to break that down in just a second. Twitter has tremendous potential. I look forward to working with the company and the community of users to unlock it. So he's saying that I want to make it a free speech platform, but I want to be able to verify and authenticate all users. Somebody wrote, authenticating all humans makes me very nervous. And obviously you can see I like that because that's not a good thing. And I'm going to show you why in just a second. Somebody wrote, thank you for freeing the bluebird. Let's see. Today is a good day for Twitter users. Will Trump get his Twitter back? This is going to be so interesting. So are you going to unban Trump? So, I mean, there's people that want this to happen. And a lot of right-wing Trump supporters definitely support him for that reason. They think that he is on their side. And then the liberals, of course, you know, they're just like, no, we don't want him there because it's dangerous misinformation and, you know, all this crap they say. So let's move on. Now, there's something I want to show you guys that I posted, and this is a person I follow. Their name is Rise Melbourne on Twitter. And it says, Elon Musk buys Twitter for $61 billion. As I've mentioned, there are varying different degrees of how much he actually paid. But Elon Musk has vowed to defeat spam bots and authenticate all humans as he moves to buy a social media platform for $61 billion. Elon buys Twitter under the guise of free speech. He vows to authenticate all humans one step away from the digital ID. Bam! There it is. That's what this is about. The digital ID. A lot of people don't know what that is. And I'm going to break it down for you. The digital ID is something, first of all, it's being pushed by the WEF. What is the WEF? The World Economic Forum. Yeah, that's what that is. So when I say WEF, you know what I'm referring to. So the WEF supports the digital ID, and the digital ID is going to be the end of all privacy. It's going to be the end of all internet anonymity, meaning that you're going to have to be verified to use the internet, period. I'm not just talking about Twitter. This is going to open up a can of worms to all forms of the internet, all platforms, everything, including even here on YouTube. This is total control, and this is something that the WEC is promoting, which is the digital ID, which is coming very soon, and we're going to break that down in a minute. So I went over here to Twitter, and I typed in hashtag digital ID, and I'm just going to read you some of these responses, right? So somebody wrote, this is how it starts. Do I have to explain how it ends? Or, well, the TGR, the great digital ID. So I scan the QR code, download the app, open the app, scan the QR code with the app to tell it what elevator I'm at, and then call the elevator, or I can just push the button. But see, this right here, this button, this right here, this thing, this is going to be gone. When this system is fully implemented, you're going to have to be authenticated for everything. And that's why the digital ID is not something anybody should be asking for or wanting anything that could lead to it, because the digital ID is going to be completely attached to everything you do online. So we're talking about even your banking, your financial transactions. So your PayPal, your Cash App, your Samsung Pay, your Apple Pay, your Patreon money, everything that you do on the internet will be connected to this digital ID. And so if you said something that's not politically correct, recently, or you might have said something 15 years ago or something like that, it doesn't matter, because it can be used against you at any point in time. And there's always a lead up to something bigger. Now, we know that the lead up ultimately is the MOTB, right? But there's going to be other things that lead up to the MOTB, like the digital ID. And of course, the digital ID will also be linked to the cookie juice, right? Because they have a whole database of everybody that took the cookie juice. So if your name is not in that system and you have to verify yourself to get online, and when they roll out the next round of the cookie juice and you refuse to take it, or you've put out articles exposing the cookie juice, it'll be attached to your digital ID. Now, what is the lead up from the digital ID? It's very obvious. The social credit score. I've talked about the social credit score before. Now, before we move on, I'm going to show you a clip from this show called Black Mirror, where this woman is attempting to buy a plane ticket, right? She's attempting to board a flight, but she does not have a certain score on social media, so she cannot get on the plane. Let's take a look at this clip here. I'm going to start from the beginning here. Let's see. I think it's about right about this point. Okay, so you can clearly see right here, it shows you a user and it shows you their credit score. So everything you do on social media will be tallied towards your social credit score. So for example, if you happen to be, something like, smoking weed in public or something, that can count against your credit score. If you use profanity in a public place, that will count against your credit score. If you make videos like I do exposing their evil plans, that will count against your credit score. If you refuse to wear a mask, a face diaper, that will count against your credit score. Basically, anything that they tell you to do that you do not do will count against your credit score, and you will be locked out of society. Now, in China, this is already fully implemented. And China is the blueprint for the rest of the coalition of nations in this world that will also follow suit. And in certain places, they're already beginning to implement this. Here in America, it has not been fully implemented, but this is a huge step towards this happening. Now, I heard some varying stories about when we could expect to see it. So, take this with a grain of salt. But I was told that it could happen probably in the fall. They're going to roll it out here in the States, the digital identification. So it's very close. And if it's not this fall, it'll be very, very soon. Okay? But let's go ahead and watch this clip. And we will talk about it afterwards. Let me just fast forward. Okay, let's take a look at this, man.
Hi there, how you doing?
I am wonderful.
I am so sorry. That flight is canceled.
No.
Customer incident at the other end.
What? So when is the next flight?
Yeah, they're all kind of full.
I booked this weeks ago. It's my best friend's wedding.
I'm sorry.
I have to get there. I have to.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Alright, so as you can see, she is going to the airport to board her flight. I'm assuming she already paid for it. And the flight has been canceled. Okay? So I have to pause it in between so no copyright and kind of explain things. But let's continue.
Thank you.
I see there's one standby seat on another plane leaving tonight. That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You got to be a 4.2 or over to qualify.
Look at that. So she has to be a 4.2 to get this flight that she is able to get on because her previous one was canceled. And if you look over here in the corner, you can clearly see her score is 4.1.83. So she's only literally just a few points away from being able to get on this flight. But because she isn't exactly a 4.2, she cannot. Pay attention.
I'm a 4.2.
I'm afraid you're actually a 4.183.
Well, that's not my fault. Some woman dinged me down in the cab. Can't you
I'm
just...
sorry, it won't let me book it without the correct ranking.
But it's so close.
There's just nothing I can do.
Christ, I mean, surely.
I'm going to have to ask you to moderate your language then.
Sorry, it's just... I'm maid of honor. I cannot miss this wedding.
And I am so sorry about that.
Can you call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Can you just call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Call the fucking supervisor.
Okay, that's profanity. We're zero tolerance on profanity.
I'm sorry, it's just...
Yeah, I have to serve the next customer.
No.
Step away, ma'am.
God, just fucking help me!
So what you can do is you can see the people in back of her are snitching on her, right? They're reporting the fact that she's using profanity. And this is the system they're also creating. So not only is it going to be the government and this system that's going to be monitoring you, but also people that are completely compliant to it, that might not like your views, might not like that you believe in the Most High and you follow his ways and you believe in the Bible, you believe in his son. All of these people can literally play a part in making your credit score lower. They can just report your activity, they can thumb it into their social medias, and your credit score will continue to go down. This is what I'm talking about. This is the beast system. This is what it's going to look like. This is what people are basically cheering on and clapping like barking seals. Just, yeah, Elon Musk, But this is what's going to happen to you. See, people think that you shouldn't have free speech as long as what you say disagrees with how they feel. And they're rooting this on, not realizing it will affect them too. Do you remember 2 years ago in 2020, the government was talking about incentivizing people that were not social distancing, were not wearing a mask, people that were not complying. The government was incentivizing people to snitch to the government and you know, basically rat people out. That's what this system is about. They're going to use the sheep, to go after the dissidents, to go after those that don't comply, who are against it. That's why you guys really need to understand that if you know the truth and you follow the Most High and you have not complied with this and you know their plans and you know what they're about, there's going to come a time where you're going to have to start distancing yourself from people who are not heeding the call of the warnings that you're giving them. Because with enough pressure from the powers that be in the government system and them being afraid of having their score lowered, and they will snitch you out. And I can even see how they're going to use this to come after followers of Christ and followers of the Most High, followers of Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's a Christian. He thinks this is the mark. He thinks this is this. Yeah, he's a problem. I mean, like I said, China is the blueprint for this system, which they've already implemented in China. And in China, you're not allowed to study the Word. You're not allowed to believe in God. You're not allowed to have Bible study without authorization from the government. You think that's not going to happen here?
Sorry. I've called security.
Oh, no, please don't do that. I'm a 5-star in you. 5 stars?
What's the issue here, madam?
Intimidation and profanity.
Oh, no, I was not intimidating.
Don't speak, ma'am.
I was just trying to...
Okay, so, in order to restore calm, I'm invoking my authority as airport security to dock you 1 full ranking point as a punitive measure. This is a temporary measure.
No!
The score reverts to normal in 24 hours.
No, but I need it now.
Period. All down votes are subject to a ×2 multiplier.
×2?
We recommend you avoid negative feedback at this time.
I'm on double damage?
Please, remove yourself from the airport immediately.
Guys, this is the system. All right, let's continue on. But this is what the digital ID. The digital ID will be linked to the social credit system. Like I said, it's all about control. If you are authenticated through the digital ID system, now they can keep tabs on everything you do, and everything that you do will affect your system. Okay? So, let's move on. Going back to the browser here. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is this man. Okay? His name is Yuval Noah Harari. Okay? He is the advisor to Klaus Schwab. You guys know who Klaus Schwab is. He's the chairman of the World Economic Forum. Hasn't been elected, hasn't been chosen by the people, but he's telling everybody we need to reset your lives. We need to reset everything about this world, okay? Now listen to what he says. Right here in the caption it says, do dictators dream about eliminating your privacy? And he's telling you your privacy's gone in this new system, which connects to the digital ID, the authentication, as well as a social credit score. And of course, the ultimate goal, which is the MOTB. Let's take a look at this one. Straight from the horse's mouth.
We are great. We have these wonderful high-tech companies. We make a lot of money out of it. It raises our power in the world. What can be wrong with it? This debate about privacy versus security is as old as civilization, you can say. But there is something new now. For the first time in history, it's possible to completely eliminate privacy. Mm-hmm. It was just never possible before, and it is possible now. Something fundamental has changed. Mm-hmm. When dictators always dreamt about completely eliminating privacy, monitoring everybody all the time and knowing everything you do, and not just everything you do, but even everything you think and everything you feel. Whether it's a tyrant in ancient Greece or whether it's Stalin, they always dreamt about it. They could never do it because it was technically impossible. Now it's possible. The same thing will happen with deepfake. At first, we'll see the US president saying something and we'll believe, I saw it with my own eyes, he said it. Within a few months...
Look at these sheep. Look at all these people wearing this mask. Look at these clowns. Take that crap off. It stinks like your breath. Sorry, bro. I just can't stand people that are just so subservient and submissive to this stuff. And not realizing, I mean, of course they're going to do it because they're at this event, so they're supporters of it. They're nodding their head in agreement. He just made references to Stalin. He just talked about the dream of dictators and all this stuff, and they're over here nodding in agreement. Nobody's questioning him. No questions are being asked. Nobody's interrupting him. Like, wait a minute. What did you just say? They're just going along with it, just like the sheep are.
So years, everybody would know you can make anything you want. So new institutions of trust will emerge that you don't trust the video, you trust the institution that hosts it.
Okay, let's break down what he literally just said. So this goes back to something I've been saying for a very, very long time, ladies and gentlemen. I have been saying that Satan takes the things of the Most High, turns it around, perverts it, and uses it for his own wicked purposes. What do we know about the Most High? We know that he's all-knowing, all-powerful, and present everywhere. Satan does not have these attributes at all. The only way that he's able to somewhat have those attributes is technology. Using technology, the Antichrist will be able to know where you are. He'll be present everywhere. He will be all-knowing and all-powerful. Because when the censorship comes, which we're already seeing the censorship now, but with this digital ID system, they will be able to eliminate all forms of dissent, basically. And so there will only be one narrative that is presented to the masses. There will be no other way for them to really be able to get the truth. They'll only be able to take in and absorb what is presented to them. That's what this system is going to create. It's going to create a purpose for just one narrative to be pushed upon the people. For example, what we've seen in the last 2 years, you have people like me, plenty of other truthers exposing this agenda, so they had to step it back a little bit. They had to pull back a little bit because low-key people like me have put a dent in their plan. My album put a dent in their plan. You know, other truthers call for uprising, Days of Noah, the scariest movie ever. Many of these truthers, shout out to all of them. We have all put a dent in their plan. And so they had to step it back. But now they're coming back with something much more stronger to fight against people like me. Dissidents. Okay? Now, let's move on to this next video of the same guy, Yuval, and he's saying that the idea of the soul and free will, these things are over. Once again, straight from the horse's mouth, straight from a member of the WEC. Let's listen to it.
Corporations, for the first time in history, have the power to basically hack human beings. There is a lot of talk about hacking computers, hacking smartphones, hacking bank accounts, but the big story of our era is the ability to hack human beings. And by this I mean that if you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible. And in such a situation, the old democratic system stopped functioning. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me, so whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. We need to come to terms with the fact that, you know what, again, this is where philosophy meets computer science. And
So you heard what he just said. He called us hackable animals. There's even another video of him saying, what are we going to do with all these useless people? Okay, and he is just one cog in the grand scheme of things. But a lot of these world leaders and these people connected to the WEC, they all think like this. He is not the only one. He is not a person that feels this way by himself that's part of the WEC. They all feel this way because most of them have been groomed into this way of thinking. So there's no way that he stands alone on this premise and ideology of, you know, how he feels about humanity. You know, it's just so interesting to me how, you know, even the Most High, right? He gives us free will to choose if we want to live for him, if we want to follow his word, we want to believe in him, believe in his son. He gives us free will to do that. There's obviously going to be consequences, you know, at the judgment if we choose not to follow him and go of our own free will. But these people are literally saying, we're going to take that away from you. And you're going to obey us. And we're going to take out the Most High. And we're going to give you the solutions. We're going to give you the answers. And you shouldn't question us. And your free will, your ability to choose is over. But if you want to be honest, we never really did have free will. Because the only free will we had is the free will that they presented to us. The foods that they presented to us. The television shows they presented to us. The music they presented to us. The politicians they presented to us. So did we ever really have free will? Maybe to a certain extent, or maybe perhaps the illusion of free will. But even just that small illusion of free will that you thought you had, he's telling you it's gone. Total control. This is what the beast system will look like. So everybody that thinks normal is coming back and, oh, you know, this is going to be over and we've killed off the CVD and this is all done and we can go back to normal. Newsflash, it's not going to happen. It will not happen. They are coming out and telling you it's not going back to normal. Wake up, y'all. I'm pretty sure most of you guys watching this video are aware of this. But share this video with your family members because I'm starting to get to a point where I'm just kind of done really coming to people that I've been telling this stuff to for years and they don't want to listen. You know what I mean? Like my mom, for example. She has so much pride that she doesn't want to admit that she was wrong. She doesn't want to admit that she got duped. You know what I'm saying? I warned her about all of this stuff, and did she listen to me? Of course she didn't. And she's still defending her decision of taking the kooky juice when it almost killed her. Because the doctors are lying to her and telling her it was something else. When the same exact symptoms that put her in the hospital have... basically, they've come out and said that this is one of the adverse side effects of this kooky juice. She doesn't think it's evil. After everything I've shown her, she still won't listen to nothing I'm saying. She still won't even watch my videos, but she'll listen to TD Jakes and these dang pastors that are pushing the kooky juice. And I'm just tired of just like saying the same thing over and over again to people who aren't going to listen. I know a lot of us want to save our friends' souls, save our family's souls, but I'm telling y'all, the Most High might be calling you to distance yourself from these people because they're choosing the world over him. Anybody that's choosing the world over the Most High is somebody you don't need to be dealing with. Because some of them have already made their decision, and no matter what happens, they're not going to change their minds. Period. All right, let's continue. All right, now getting back to Elon Musk, this is something I posted on my Instagram, and it says, Elon Musk wants to implant brain chip technology in humans in 2022, hashtag the end times. And I wrote, warning, this post contains graphic content. Why do people like this guy? This is dangerously close to looking like the MOTB. Not saying it is, but it could be. Elon Musk is part of this system. Stop glorifying these celebrities and give your life to the Most High Yah. All right, so these are a compilation of different clips of him explaining the chip, and there's something very graphic in here I do need to show you guys to hammer home the point, and I will give you guys another warning the closer we get to it. But it's important for you to know what this man is about and why nobody should be getting behind him, okay? So let's look at this interview he did with Joe Rogan.
ultimately does get a Neuralink installed, what will take place?
Well, for version 1 of the device, it would be it basically implanted in your skull. So, but it would be flush with your skull. So you basically take out a chunk of skull, put the Neuralink device in there. You put the electrode. You'd insert the electrode threads very carefully into the brain, and then you stitch it up, and you wouldn't even know that somebody has it. So then it can interface basically anywhere in your brain. So it could be something that helps cure, say, eyesight, like returns your eyesight, even if you've lost your eye.
How do you do what happens?
Neuralink's working well in monkeys, and we're also doing just a lot of testing and just confirming that it's very safe and reliable, and that the Neuralink device can be removed safely. People may have seen the demo that we published earlier this year, the video of a monkey playing the video game Pong telepathically using the Neuralink in its brain, and it's completely wireless, charges inductively. But basically, the monkey looks completely normal, and yet is playing a video game telepathically, which is, I think, quite profound. We will have, we hope to have this in our first humans, which will be people that have severe spinal cord injuries, like.
All right, so you just heard him say that he wants to put this in humans. All right, now the next part I'm about to show you is graphic. Okay, you can see I put the warning. It says the next slide shows very graphic content. This is what you mentioned, and you saw in the previous clip, he talked about how they're testing this stuff out on monkeys, right? I'm going to show you the video of what he's funding and what he's doing to these monkeys. And brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, it is not nice to look at. It is very disturbing, but you need to see what they're trying to do to us. It's bad enough what they're doing to these monkeys, but this is what he wants to do to you, okay? You and me, and all the people that are supporting him, okay? This is what he will do to you. Take a look. Really heartbreaking. It says University of California Davis for violations of the Federal Animal Welfare Act related to invasive and deadly brain experiments conducted on 23 monkeys. UC Davis received more than $1.4 million from Elon Musk's company Neuralink to carry out the experiments. The complaint is based on almost 600 pages of disturbing documents released only after the Physicians Committee filed an initial public records lawsuit in 2021. Also today, the Physicians Committee filed a second public records lawsuit in Yolo County Superior Court to compel the university to release videos and photographs of the monkeys, which is what you just saw. Now, of course, we got to tie it all into Scripture. Revelations 13! And he causeth all, both small and great. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me go back. My bad, y'all. I guess I jumped a little bit too quick. Okay.
How do you do what?
I had the scripture in here because, you got to always tie in scripture. Revelations 13, he causeth all, both small and great, free and poor, rich and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So, right hand or forehead. Now, as I've already said, I don't know if the Neuralink is specifically the MOTB. But if it's not, it's definitely a lead up to it. Because I personally don't really believe that that's going to be like the only version of this type of technology. They'll keep on, you know, working on it and getting it the way they want it to be, and then they will have that final solution. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's really what it could be. It could be it. It could not be it. I don't know. But it looks like it from what the scripture says. But either way, the fact that he wants to put this in human beings, and you saw what's going on in the monkeys, he wants to drill a hole in your skull to put this in it. And this is who people are supporting. Wow. People just don't read their Bible. That's just what it is. Anyway, let's continue. Now, the last two things I want to show you is also how they're conditioning people with this authentication thing, right? So, some of these NFL players were wearing QR codes on the back of their jerseys during a game. This is how they are literally conditioning the masses for this type of authentication system, right? They did it with the cookie juice verification passports, and they're also going to be doing it with the digital ID and eventually the MOTB going in the right hand or in the forehead. So it's all connected, right? And it'll also be connected to the social credit score. You're going to have to check in, right? There's going to be apps you're going to have to download on your phone. Like, for example, there was a film I watched called Songbird where you literally had to check your temperature literally every hour of every day just to make sure you cannot leave the house until you are authorized to leave the house because of the so-called pandemic. Okay? So this is just a form of conditioning, and of course they're going to use the pawns of the NFL. And I was telling people think that, you know, a lot of these sellouts are only in the music industry and the entertainment industry. They're in the athletic industry too. They are also pawns, pushing the same agenda. All right? So you see this here, and then there's another article I want to show you guys as well that relates to this. And it says, scroll up here. Where's the title? Here we go. So basically, during a game, it says NBA players to wear Bitcoin QR codes on their sneakers to support the Ukraine's cause. And you can see them right here. You got the Nikes, and of course you've got the QR code right here. And of course, they support the Ukraine. Yeah. So Ukrainian-born NBA basketball players Svi Mahavala, or whatever his name is, the Toronto Raptors, and Alex Lynn of the Sacramento Kings, in collaboration with Bitcoin Magazine, will use QR codes on their shoes as well as a massive advertising on their social networks in an initiative aimed at alleviating the humanitarian crisis resulting from the military conflict that has taken place in their country due to the invasion of Russia. So you got to be careful with these words, bro. But isn't it interesting how Bitcoin Magazine is promoting the QR code? And haven't I been telling you that Bitcoin is a trap? Haven't I been telling people that Bitcoin is the monetary system of the beast? Blockchain technology is all connected to the MOTB. Haven't I been saying this stuff, guys? Haven't I been saying this? It says Mahalik will unveil a pair of custom Nike branded sneakers emblazoned with the code QR, which is a Bitcoin address in QR format, on Saturday, April 16th in the first round of the NBA playoffs. For his part, Lynn will show his support for the cause by advertising on his social networks. Refugees in Ukraine, hold on, let me scroll in because there's something I want to show you guys. Refugees in Ukraine and around the world urgently need humanitarian assistance. Need humanitarian assistance. I'm using my voice to demand action, and you can too. Join me and make your own video call for the world to support refugees everywhere. Stand up for the Ukraine. Now, if you look over here, you can see that I highlighted something. At Global Citizen. I talked about the Global Citizen. I did a video on this channel It's called the Signs of the Times episode 1, and I showed people in that video, if you haven't had a chance, it'll be linked in the description, but I showed people in that video how basically the Global Citizen YouTube channel and the Global Citizen movement is how they're conditioning the masses for this one world system they're creating, right? The global world order, the NWO, whatever you want to call it. It'll be all encompassing, right? So whenever you hear things like nobody will be left out, it's all inclusive, that's because there is no way to escape this thing. The only way to escape it is death. This will affect everyone and everything in this earth. And they're using the NFL, they're using the NBA to reel people into this stuff, using these influencers. And speaking of which, let me show you something else. This is kind of a side note, but I feel like it kind of coincides with everything we're saying. Because we're talking about sellouts right now, we're talking about how they're pushing the beast system. So Drake, I did a full documentary on Drake exposing him, showing you guys how he sacrificed his friend, constantly throwing up the 666, constantly calling himself the sixth god, you know what I mean? Like, and what, you know, he's basically another sellout. But Drake has this digital casino he created. He partnered with them. Let me pull this up real quick. Side note, like I said, but it does coincide with what we're saying. So Drake has an online casino, okay, a digital casino where you actually use digital currency, such as cryptocurrency, to be able to buy and participate in this casino. So Drake Casino was established in 2012. A lot of potential to be a great service, especially for players who prefer bet soft games. So that boy Drake is pushing the crypto ideology, the crypto concept, the digital casino, right? That's what he's pushing, okay? And it's called the Drake Casino right here. You can see it clearly. Boom. Look at that. Rapper Drake wins $354,000 in online gambling from his home, and he basically got paid by this company to promote it. And now, bam, people are starting to kind of vary off into crypto. You ever notice how some of these rappers be promoting crypto, or they be promoting these NFTs? They are reeling you into this system. And, you know, of course, most people look at it and don't think nothing of it, but those of us who have eyes to see and ears to hear, we see what's going on. And it's obvious, like I said, that this is obviously an agenda to suck people into this system without them really knowing what they're being sucked into. And by the time they realize it, they're going to be like, oh, I didn't want this, and I didn't expect this, and I didn't want this, but it's going to be too late because you've already sold out. You've already given yourself to it. You know, and I'm telling y'all right now, I will not be opting into none of this stuff. I don't want nothing to do with this world they're creating. I have no interest in it. You won't see me promoting the metaverse. You won't be telling me people to join people in the metaverse. As far as what I'm doing, making digital content and videos and music and albums and stuff like that, I still will continue to do that. But the day that you have to tap into the digital system or the metaverse or the digital ID in order to be able to do that kind of stuff, then that'll just be the day of retirement, where you guys will probably never hear from me again. Because I'm not tapping into this system. I have no interest in anything that they want us to link ourselves to. I'm not putting no tech in my body. I'm not putting no VR glasses on. I'm not doing none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then if I gotta just be a boring person that just sits at home and watches old VHS tapes, hey, I'm happy with that. But I'm standing up against this system, and I have no interest in selling out to it or becoming a part of it. Even if it means opportunities I could lose, because I won't. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Yeah, bro, it's really concerning that a lot of people are supporting this and don't even realize how evil this is. They don't even realize what they're supporting because they don't do enough research. And they're asking for people like Trump, bring Trump back, please bring Trump back. Supporting Trump, not realizing he is also controlled. And I believe he will be used to also bait people, because Elon Musk is starting to be looked at as more right-wing, right? A lot of Trump supporters like Elon and support him. And I believe just like Trump is trapping the people on the right, Elon Musk is doing the exact same thing. So, I mean, you know, take with that what you will. Anyway, guys, it is your boy TTP, back with another video. Truth bombs dropping. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We got more videos on the way. We're going to do more weekly shows. As more things come out, I will continue to expose them. And I'm actually thinking about doing a future documentary on the digital ID and just exposing it for what it really is. I did like kind of a brief summary in this video, but I think it requires a documentary on its own. And that's probably something I'm going to be working on, you know, in the near future. So just keep an eye out for that. If you haven't listened to the album, link is in the description. Make sure to subscribe to the music channel. I've got some great scriptural hip-hop if you guys are interested in just having music for truthers that are biblically based. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. I love you guys. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah. Thank you, Father, for giving us a community where we are able to share the truth and not be deceived by the lies of the enemy. Shalom. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.